Okay, so some story types. These are the story types we see with web original content. I want to identify these so that you have some frame of reference in mind as you're creating your own posts. So the basic post, and this is something that is just words and an image. There's no audio. It's 3 sentences. You know, this was also part of news coverage from KUT. There was this huge fire last fall that followed a major drought in Texas, and they have this photo. So they're actually doing a lot of other reporting. You have these most viewed stories here. They're all fire related, and even the related posts. So KUT is doing a lot of reporting on this fire at this time. But you know, this counts as a post too: a photo, description of what it is, and a link to higher resolution images. This is what their online audience wants to see, and they've delivered it. Basic post, just reporting the news. There's no audio. This is Nathan, the blogger at KUT, just reporting the news, especially about major changes for the school year. And he is just listing some of the things that were covered. This story would be very hard to do in radio, right? Imagine, you know, this is probably topic of a very long two-way, maybe an hour long, talking about the multiple topics, you know, because with radio, it's hard to introduce multiple topics in one segment, right? But here with online reporting, you can just list it. I mean, at this school board meeting, this is what they adopted: dual language programs, disciplinary schools, money from the bond election. You can just list those issues. That works really well for the online audience. Imagine how hard this would be to report as a spot. And so one thing we see with online reporting is the follow-up. It is continuing the reporting, carrying on, letting the audience know that you have your eyes on this story. You are following this very closely. One way to show that you're following this story is to link back to the story you did before. You can embed links online, which is harder to do on air. It would be hard to reference the spot you filed, you know, the hour before or the day before. But online, you can really let people know that you're following a story. It's really just a matter of keeping an eye, letting them know that you are in charge, that you are keeping a close eye. So let's take a look at this story here. There was this big charter school vote in Austin, and you know, Nathan had already reported on the deal that it had passed, but he acknowledges here, and I know this is hard to read, so I'm just going to read a little bit of it. We received a few emails from people asking to know specifically which members of the Austin School Board voted for or against a proposal to establish an in-district charter school, etc. And he said, we neglected to list the specific trustees in our previous story, which he links to, and he went ahead and listed how the trustees voted. It's very simple. You know, imagine it would be hard to list these on air, but he goes ahead and just bullet points them online, and there it is right in front of you. So the ability to link back to previous reporting and let people know the work you've already done is something that's different about online reporting. And being able to break news in one sentence, isn't this great? If you could just say on air, the oil has stopped, done. Oil has stopped flowing into the Gulf, next topic. But you know, online you can do this because this is something this is a story that, again, was in the news, was very prominent, something we'd seen for a while, so that to say that the oil has stopped, the New York Times can get away with just saying one sentence because it was such a big deal. And they went ahead and linked to a more in-depth story afterwards. Let's see. So you can also break news in one sentence. And the idea behind being able to break news in one sentence is that you want to get the information out there, right? People are constantly checking for news, especially their Facebook feeds. You know, some people like just never quit Facebook and or Twitter, and they have TweetDeck and they can get alerts in real time. So if you can get that one sentence alert out there, if it's really important, that's a big value to your audience. And then follow up with a more detailed reporting like you see with the New York Times here. Okay, so you can do this one sentence breaking news online. In social media too, this is Michigan Radio's Facebook page. Unemployment is a big deal in Michigan, and so they just write this one sentence to let people know that their unemployment rate fell. They do a lot of, they break a lot of news on their Facebook site, partly because they have a big audience there. They have more than 13,000 likes. That's nearly double what they had a year before, but they know to converse with the audience online, so they feel comfortable breaking news like this. This is another story they broke online on Facebook recently. It's about this Ambassador Bridge company. And so they tell the audience, this is what we know, right? This is what we know so far, that the judge ordered the bridge company to surrender the Gateway project, etc. But they also tell the audience what they're doing to follow up. You know, here's what we know. Here's what we're going to find out. Michigan Radio's Sarah Swiak is there. We're going to have more later today. And then they went ahead and reported the story in full. So a lot of online storytelling is really just updating people on the information as it happens, providing some context, and letting people in on the process, letting people know what you know and what you're going to find out. So developing news is something you probably see a lot, especially, you know, I know there was a lot of developing news with this Oakland shooting a couple days ago, but you know, this is a story from a couple years ago when the plane carrying the former Senator Ted Stevens had disappeared, or another plane had seen this crash and they were investigating it. It wasn't clear at the time that it was being reported whether he was alive or not, who was on board, etc. So you see words like this line here, it still isn't known how many people may have been killed. The two-way blog from NPR, they know that their audience likes political news. You know, they want people are interested in what's happened to a former senator. And so this story, even though Mark Memmott is not in Alaska, he knows that that people are going to be interested in that information. So he goes to the Anchorage Daily News and lets his audience know what has happened to somebody that the audience is interested in. So there's some words here there's some reporting here or information that lets you know that he's in the process of finding out more. It isn't known how many people have been killed, and we've updated this post several times. He's letting people in on the process. So this is also a day in the life of the two-way blog. So they went ahead and reported other topics like Guantanamo. Here's another one, happened to be around the time the JetBlue flight attendant jumped out the emergency exit. So then now, at this point, 11:59 a.m., they know more about the crash site, that the rescuers are at the crash site investigating what happened and who's there. And in this post, again, you have this word update. This is an update. The information is still coming in. And here, you know, they report what the findings are, but they also are comfortable with saying that it's unclear what's happened to Stevens and O'Keefe. It's, you know, they are being transparent about what they know and what they don't know, and updating you and bringing you along in the process. Another post from that day, again, other news. And then when it's finally confirmed that he's dead, they went ahead and wrote a separate post for that.